Hello there. My name is Adina Danuf, and I'm your Summer Director of Faith Formation. The message I want to share with you today is actually about the person seen as the mother of religious education, which is another way you use saying faith formation. Sophia Lyon was an American girl 3.5 years old making her first trip to America. She and her older brothers and sisters had all been born in China, where their father was an evangelical Christian minister, and their mother had started a school for Chinese girls. When they made the long trip to America in 1880, Sophie's parents thought that their family would go back to China after 1 year. But the plans changed, and Sophie never returned to China. As she grew up, her memories of China grew dim. But she hoped that when she grew up, she could go to other countries as a Christian teacher like her parents. In college, Sophie joined a club for young people who also wanted to become Christian teachers. She met another devoted volunteer named Fahs. They began writing letters to each other and made plans to travel and teach together. 6 years later, they were married. But instead of traveling to another country, Sophie and Harvey moved to New York City. Harvey had a job, and Sophia Lyon Fahs taught Sunday school and continued her studies, excited about the new ideas she was learning. Sophia and Harvey's first child was born in 1904. In those days, many women gave up their outside work after they became mothers. But Sophia was determined to keep learning and to keep teaching Sunday school. And she did. As it turned out, being a mother also helped Sophia learn. She learned about children from being with her own children and listening to their ideas and questions. When her children asked questions, Sophia tried her best to answer them. Her children had very interesting questions like, where does snow come from? And where are we before we are born? As she tried to answer her children's questions, Sophia learned how much she did not know. You might think not having all the answers took away Sophia's faith, but it was the opposite. She started to believe that to have a strong faith, finding questions you really care about is just as important as finding answers. One time, Sophia taught a religious education class. She told a lively story about a real person who had been a Christian teacher in another country. The children were eager to hear the story and eager to talk about it. Like her own children at home, the children asked questions, the interesting kind of questions that let Sophia know that they were thinking and learning. Sophia's own ideas about religion changed over time. As a young person, she had thought Christianity was the one true religion, and people all over the world should learn Bible stories. She grew to realize that the Bible was not the only book with truth in it. So she collected stories from all over the world, filled with truth and beauty, to help children's spirits stretch and grow. She published the stories in a book called From Long Ago and Many Lands. In those days, when most adults thought children's minds were like empty jars to fill with learning, Sophia thought differently. She thought children were more like gardens, already planted with seeds of possibility for learning and growing. She thought a teacher's job was to provide the good soil and water and sunlight a garden needs to grow. In religious school, a teacher could help children grow in their spirit and faith. Sophia believed that teachers can give children a safe place to learn and tools, such as books and art supplies and music. They can show how adults worship, sing, and celebrate together in faith. But no one can give a child wisdom or faith or spiritual growth. These things can only grow from within. People learn by experiencing the world for themselves, by feeling their own feelings, by seeing and touching and doing. That's why when you learn at UUFHC, we encourage you to see and to touch and to do and to ask lots of questions. When she was 82 years old, Sophia became a Unitarian minister. Her own life was a great example of her belief that every person in a congregation should continue to learn and grow, from the smallest child to the oldest adult. Sophia Lyon Fahs lived a long time, 102 years, and she never stopped learning new things. I hope we can all do the same.